Saving with Sanko. I'm Katrina. Today I have a food video for you guys. I'm going to be showing you guys 3 different ways that I am going to be using canned chicken in 3 different meals. I'm going to be making chicken quesadilla meal prep, chicken and rice bowl with seaweed, and tomato and egg with canned chicken. I just started eating canned chicken about 3 weeks ago, and I am so upset that nobody told me about canned chicken. Like, I always ate canned tuna, canned salmon, never tried canned chicken before, and it's delicious. I like canned chicken. It's really convenient and high in protein. These cans of chicken breast that I got from Costco are, I think each can has about 45.5 grams of protein, and they're only about 210 calories in each can. So you can get high volume meals with high protein and lower calories. Alright, the first meal that we're going to be making with canned chicken are chicken quesadillas. I love this recipe. It's really easy and fast. It's high protein and super filling. It's going to be 5 servings, and each quesadilla is going to be about 504 calories. The macros, if you're interested, are 50.6 grams of protein, 40.9 grams of carbs, and just 10.3 grams of fat. So super healthy, super filling. Let's make it. I'm going to be using 3 cans for this recipe. These are the 12 ounce but 7 ounces of canned chicken when you drain it, which we're going to do. We're also going to need a can of black beans, just any can of black beans, a bag of frozen corn, mozzarella. This one is light. If you want, you can find, there's fat-free mozzarella, whichever one is lower in fat, get that one. This one I got from Trader Joe's. Then you're gonna need your tortillas. I really love these tortillas. They're the Olay Extreme Wellness tortillas. They're only 50 calories per tortilla, and they're lower in carbs. And then last, I guess I should have said this, but you're gonna need jalapeños. I like jalapeños in mine. You don't have to use jalapeños. It just makes it a little spicy. Alright, first we're going to do some prepping of the ingredients. I'm cutting up 2 of the jalapeños. You don't have to use jalapeños if you don't want it spicy. You can replace it with bell peppers. But I'm using 2 jalapeños and leaving a couple of the seeds in. And then I'm just dicing them into like small bites. Then I'm going to prep the beans. I'm just using 1 can, and I'm going to be draining the liquid from the beans, and then I'm going to be mashing them into a bowl. Then I'm going to be draining my canned chicken, putting it into a larger bowl, and mashing it into smaller pieces. And remember, I used 3 cans of chicken for this recipe. And this is what it looks like after I spent some time making it into small pieces. Then I'm just going to season my chicken with my favorite seasoning, everything but the Elote seasoning from Trader Joe's. If you don't want to use the seasoning, you can just use salt and pepper or any of your favorite seasonings. And then next we're going to prep the corn and the jalapeños. We're going to heat them up on the pan to get them nice and charred. So I used a whole bag of frozen corn. And I'm just going to cook this on high heat. And it's going to take like 5 to 10 minutes for the corn and jalapeños to get a nice color to them. Then when it's done, I'm going to put it in a separate bowl. Now everything is prepped and ready, and we're just going to put it all together. The corn and jalapeños. Then the beans go in. And then lastly, the cheese. And then you're just gonna give this all a big, good mix. And it's gonna look like this. So I just put them in 2 containers, and when I'm ready to make my quesadillas, I'll pull one out and assemble it. So I'll show you how I assemble my quesadillas the day of making it. So I just lay 1 tortilla down and put a good amount of the filling onto the tortillas. So then I put the second tortilla on and put it on my skillet, heat it on both sides for about 5 minutes on each side, and just until it's hot and warm in the middle and all the cheese is melted. And look at that side. Yum! And then it's done, and then you just cut it up into 4s and enjoy. You guys, I love this recipe. It is so good, so filling. I hope you enjoy this one. Alright, so the second recipe I'm going to be making today with canned chicken is a chicken rice bowl with seaweed. Kind of like the Emily Mariko salmon rice bowl, but instead we're going to be using canned chicken. I entered the ingredients into MyFitnessPal, so everything is going to be 472 calories. It's 53.5 grams of protein, 30.5 grams of carbs, and 14.5 grams of fat. And all you're going to need for this recipe is canned chicken, obviously. I use this eggplant garlic spread from Trader Joe's. If you don't have this, or you don't have a Trader Joe's where you can pick this up from, you can substitute it with mayo. Then I'm going to be using Sriracha, Furikake, which is rice seasoning. And you can get this from any local Asian grocery store. And I'm going to be using a half a cup of rice. And then of course you're going to need seaweed. I like making this meal right before I leave for work. It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to put together. It's really easy, it's really convenient, and super fast to make when I'm in a hurry and don't know what to make for lunch. Alright, so let me show you guys how to put it together. Alright, first you're going to take your chicken breast and you're going to drain it. And I poured mine into the meal prep container that I'm going to use. And I just broke the chicken down with a fork into smaller pieces, just like this. And then I added the rice that I put. I only used half a cup of rice for this meal. I think it's just enough. If I did more, it would just be a little too much for me, but if you want to put like a cup of rice, then that's your choice. Next, I'm going to add this eggplant garlic spread that I got from Trader Joe's. I love this stuff. It is really flavorful and it has a kind of tomatoey taste to it. This kind of just binds the whole meal together. And also, if you don't have a Trader Joe's or you don't want to use this stuff, you can replace this with mayo. And I also added 2 tablespoons of this. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of Sriracha to this for some spiciness. If you don't like spicy, you can completely skip this step. And then I'm going to add the Furikake seasoning for some added umami flavor. This seasoning has like seaweed, sesame seeds, salt, sugar, just a lot of flavor. And then this step is completely optional, but I had some green onion lying around, so I decided to chop some in there just for some green and some added flavor. And then once I have everything in the Tupperware, I'll close the lid and I'll give it a really good mix just to combine everything together. And then I'll pair it with a pack of seaweed. I got these packs from Costco. And then when I'm ready to eat it, I will heat this up in the microwave for about a minute. And I'll just put a little bit of the filling into the seaweed and eat it like that. I love this dish. This came together in about less than 10 minutes, you guys. So easy, so fast, and delicious. I hope you enjoy this one. Alright, so the final dish I'm going to be making is a tomato and egg dish. It's a take on the classic Chinese dish, tomato and egg, but in this case I'm going to be adding canned chicken to it. I love this dish. It's super easy to make, it's delicious, and very flavorful. What you're going to need for this dish are, say it with me now, canned chicken, 1 Roma tomato, 2 eggs, a cup of rice, salt, sugar, ketchup, and cornstarch. And the macros on this are 586 calories, 62 grams of protein, 57.4 grams of carbs, and 13.5 grams of fat. Alright, let me show you guys how I make it. Alright, this recipe doesn't call for too much prep. I'm just cutting up this tomato. I'm cutting it up into medium-sized pieces. You don't want to cut it up into too tiny of pieces because they're going to break down in the pan later. And then I'm just going to crack 2 eggs and beat them. Make sure you add salt to this. I didn't show that I added salt, but I did. And then I added a knob of butter and cut it into small pieces and put it in the egg mixture. Now it's time to cook everything onto the pan. I added a little bit of cooking spray. Then I added the egg mixture onto a pan that's on medium-low heat. Then I'm constantly going to be stirring these eggs because I want it to be a soft scramble. And then I'm just going to do that for a little bit and then transfer it to a smaller bowl. Then I'm going to add some more spray, and then it's time to cook the tomatoes. So I added the tomatoes to the pan. I'm going to let them simmer down, and then I'm going to add my seasonings. So my seasonings are salt, a little bit of sugar, and then the secret ingredient is a tablespoon of ketchup. This adds a lot of flavor to it and makes the texture really good. So then I'm going to mix it up a little bit. And then I'm going to add a cornstarch slurry, which is basically a little bit of cornstarch and water. This is going to thick up the tomato paste to turn it into like a paste. And then I add back the eggs, and then I give it a stir. And then lastly, I'm going to be adding in the canned chicken. And I shredded the canned chicken up into smaller size pieces. And then I just added it into the pan. Then all you're going to do is mix it up. Add a little bit of more salt to taste, and then we're gonna build this bowl together. Alright, you guys, those were the 3 recipes of using canned chicken. Let me know in the comments below if you try out any of these recipes. If you enjoyed this content, please give this video a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.